But then the best way I learned is to have your dog tested with like your veterinarian or a nutritionist so that their insides can tell you what they need. Because there's not one size fits all diet for all dogs. No one diet's better than the other. Like there's a lot of options out there, but it's best for you to pick something for your dog's insides or test results to determine what's best for them.
Welcome to the Wear, Wag, Repeat podcast. I'm Tori Mystic. As a dog mom lifestyle expert, blogger, and business owner, I love talking to other women in the pet industry and sharing their advice with you every week. Sit, stay, and listen to the latest episode. In this episode, I'm talking to the founder of Dog Bakery Academy, Minyoung Morita. While launching and growing her own dog bakery business over 7 years, Minyoung saw the huge demand for healthy and fun bakery-style dog treats. But there literally weren't enough dog bakeries to supply the stores. So she had the idea to create an online course to teach others how to build their own dog bakery business. Her course covers everything from buying a domain to the rules and regulations broken down by each state. Minyoung is so passionate about getting nutritious treats in the paws of dogs that she also launched a pet parent recipe membership this year. Do you want to know about the tools and apps that she uses to run her online course and social media? Well, of course, you can get a list of those along with recommended resources from all of my guests in the Wear, Wag, Repeat resource guide. Get free access today at wearwagrepeat.com/guide. Minyoung Morita is a dog bakery business owner turned digital product coach and educator. She was the co-owner of Bobby and Bambi's Dog Bakery. After 7 years of operating the business, she decided to pivot from a product-based business to digital. Minyoung is passionate about helping future dog bakery business owners in her course, Dog Bakery Academy. She coaches and teaches members on how to build their own thriving and successful dog bakery business from the ground up the right way. Minyoung is also a dog mom and has been cooking and baking for her own dogs for over 13 years. She recently launched a dog food and treat monthly membership for pet parents. She's obsessed with dog nutrition and shares how she makes veterinary nutritionist approved home cooked meals as well as fun and nutritional dog treat recipes. Welcome, Minyoung. How are you?
Good. Hi, Tori. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to learn more about what you do. I'm getting so many DMs. Everyone wants to learn your story. And, I talk a lot about niching down. And I mean, a course about how to start a dog bakery business, that's pretty niche. So
yes. Definitely.
So I love it and I want to hear all about it. But first, will you take us kind of like back in time and tell us what inspired you to get into cooking and baking for your dogs in the first place?
My dog, Bobby, when I first got him, he was always sick. Even as like a puppy, he had so many health issues. And after about a year with working with my veterinarian, I was thinking there has to be something more than a blood test, a fecal test, and all the routine tests that dogs do. And so one day, my boss was telling me that she had taken her dogs to UC Davis's veterinary program where like they assess your dog and formulate a home cooked meal for them. And so I called them and and the person I spoke to was so informative and told me, well, it's probably what your dog is eating. And then that was like this was like maybe 13, 14 years ago. And, back then, a lot of this stuff wasn't known, and so I was like, oh my gosh. And she was giving me a list of things that dogs can be allergic to. And I looked at his prescription dog food and lo and behold, all the ingredients was contributing to his health issues. And so she gave me, I could not physically go to UC Davis at the time because of work, but she gave me a list of veterinary nutritionists to call in my area. So I contacted one and we formulated a recipe. And then within like a week, he was changed. It was insane. I saw his transformation. Like he was basically cured. And my veterinarian was like, whoa, that's crazy. Right. So then he started doing that for his dogs. And it was just from there, I never cooked or baked before in my life. So so this was like definitely a learning curve for me. I still to this day can't bake anything from scratch for humans. like if I were on like nailed it, I'd fail. Like it's really funny. So my friends and family are like, this is so random you do this because you can't even cook for yourself. And so and so I've
But
been
it's
doing
so
that.
cool. Like
Yeah.
you thought it could have been maybe like a disease or something genetic. Or you were doing all these
Yes.
tests, and then it turned out to just be the food.
Yeah, it's basically what I was putting into his body, which makes so much sense because that's like us humans, right? And Bobby just turned 16 and we just did
Amazing.
all his tests and he's doing great so far. So I'm very grateful.
Well, and I love that you had that your own vet that you went back and showed him the results, and he was like receptive and open and started doing it himself. So it was really like think about how many dogs' lives you impacted just with that.
Yeah, it was really cool. He's so amazing and he was like open to it and he asked me, "Can you bring in what you make for your dog?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I showed him. He's all, "This is amazing. I've never seen this before." Like, yeah, it was really cool.
That's so cool. So I think when a lot of people like now making your own dog food, at least in my circles on the internet, is more common because I'm pretty deep in the dog mom world. But
Right.
I think when like your average person thinks of it, they just think chicken and rice and like that's it. But is that enough? Like, is it more complicated than that?
Yes, it's super important for everything to be balanced. And so like from what I was thinking as just like a dog mom, like I'm trying to research everything and then pick one and give it to my dog. But then the best way I learned is to have your dog tested with like your veterinarian or a nutritionist so that their insights can tell you what they need. Because there's not one size fits all diet for all dogs. No one diet's better than the other. Like there's a lot of options out there, but it's best for you to pick something for your dog's insights or test results to determine what's best for them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the cool thing about nutrition for dogs. Like, I think nutrition for people is harder because we
Yeah.
have access to like donuts and ice cream, and we can ruin our diet very easily. Even if you're like lactose intolerant, you can go eat a gallon of ice cream and just say screw it.
Yeah, I'm lactose. I do that
Yeah.
too.
But with dogs, like we can really make sure that they're getting like the best nutrition, and they usually can't really get into too many bad treats or anything else like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's just been really cool to learn about all this stuff and like it just really excites me and like I always want to do better for my dogs. I know everybody wants to as well. So, and it's fun too just to like see them enjoy it. That's part of the fun as well.
Yeah. So you started cooking for Bobby, and then somehow along the way, you decided to turn that into a business with Bobby and Bambi's dog bakery. How did you decide to take the leap from just cooking for yourself or for your own dogs to turning it into a whole business?
It was kind of accidental because after about I think like maybe 6 years, 7 years into it, because people would always make fun of me that I was cooking and baking for my dogs, right? Then people started seeing like his transformation in my other dog Bambi too. And so I've been cooking and baking for other people's dogs, just like for fun, for like family and friends. And my husband was like, why don't we sell this? And I was thinking, who's going to buy from me? I was like in the fashion industry before. And I'm like, no one's going to buy from me. He's all, and I was like, okay, let's just try it. And so we launched, okay, starting a dog bakery was just like a rabbit hole of like, confusion, right? So it took me a year to like figure it all out because
You
there was like,
can't just make things and sell them. There's a lot more to it.
yes, it's heavily regulated, which it should be. But then I, did it for a year and then we launched at a pet expo near my area and we sold out in like 2 hours. And then my husband was like, okay, this is it. We got to do this. And I was like, I was actually really shocked. Like, and so from there, that's when we built the business. And yeah, it was really, really fun to do. And I loved every moment of it.
And what kind of things were you selling through the dog bakery business? Was it like food and meals or treats or cupcakes? What kind of stuff were you making?
It was strictly like bakery. So I wanted to model it like a human bakery. And so I had like mini pies, like cupcakes, cakes, donuts, and like everyday treats like cookies and biscuits. And I just wanted to make everything look cute and just like aesthetically cute, like pretty. So it was just like fun to do all of the packaging and then the brand aesthetics too.
That's where your fashion industry background comes in, the style
Yes.
part.
Oh, and Photoshop and Illustrator.
Well, your Instagram and like your website, all your photos are so beautiful. Do you do all your photos yourself?
Yes, but I just do it on my iPhone. Like everyone's like, "What?" Like,
You've got skills. Like I don't know if you have really good editing or just really good lighting, but it's all really beautiful.
oh, thank you so much.
I'm a big believer in reaching out when I need help. 45 minutes with an expert can save me hours or even months of work. Do you feel like you hit a wall with what you can figure out on your own? Or do you have an idea that you really need to bounce off someone who gets pet parents? I'm now offering one-on-one coaching to give you the help you need to spend less time working and more time with your pet. These coaching sessions are designed to help you with your marketing, social media strategy, goal setting, and overall vision for the impact you make in the lives of pets and their people. Learn more and book a call with me. All the info can be found at wearwagrepeat.com/courses. And as always, if you have any questions about if this is right for you, just reach out and ask. You know where to find me. So, as you were starting or as you were growing your bakery business, I should say, what is something that you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
Oh, everything. The hardest part for me was, I think, letting go of control. So I had a mentor, and then that's something that he would tell me, like, Minyoung, you can't control everything. You have to let go and let people do and trust people to do their job. And, but it's so hard. So that's something I wish I learned early on, to just let go and let your team just run with it and do with it and not like think about it. So that's something like that I really, oh, and work-life balance. Like I didn't have any. So like I would go into the bakery like around 8 in the morning and won't leave till 3 in the morning. Yeah, every single day, seven
That's
days.
bad.
It's so bad. It was terrible. Like I tell my members in my group, like, work-life balance is everything. It's not worth working yourself to the ground. It's really not. And
Yeah,
so
well,
that's
especially
something.
because when you're tired and burnt out, you're not going to do a good job. So it's like you're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, their day, like I didn't want to eat or drink anything because I didn't want to waste the minutes to go to the bathroom. It was crazy. Like I think back and I'm like, what was I doing?
Oh my God, you were crazy. Now you
Yeah.
figured out the right way.
Yes.
So, okay, so you learned so much doing this
Yeah.
that you decided to pivot from running a bakery, which was super crazy time consuming and a lot of hard work, to now teaching other people how to start their own bakeries and all that's involved. I didn't really realize how much with the regulations and everything was involved.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your online course, the Dog Bakery Academy.
Okay. Well, doing the online dog bakery, it just kind of came about, but I had thought about it while in the business because a lot of my retailers were telling me like there's only like three cookie suppliers, and I was like, that's like a real problem because the three of us could not, supply all of the boutiques and retailers across the US or worldwide. And so I was thinking maybe I should do this course so that I can teach other people to supply because we're really here to serve dogs
Yeah.
and
Well, and
give
like
access.
if you ever want to take a vacation, you need other dog bakeries in existence.
Yes, and I wanted to be available to everybody. And
Right.
so I've always wanted to do this, but I just couldn't carve out the time to do it. And then when COVID hit, and then I was like, this is the perfect time to do it. My mentor was like, don't do this. And I was like, I don't like, this is something I really want to do. And so we pivoted and now he's like, okay, this was a good idea for you because now you're not gonna like faint and fall to the ground from all the work. But yeah, it, the course, it was really awesome to make. And like, cause like you just go back in time and think of all the steps that we took to, build a business. So the course has everything from like the very beginning stages of how to set up your LLC, your domain, how to create a website, all the way to shipping. So I cover all the module in 10 modules, all of these steps.
Wow.
Yeah, and then so like for each state, I have sections for each state for like regulations, how to register their labels, how to get their products tested, and just to be compliant within their state, and also how to sell like out of your state because there are regulations for that as well.
Yeah, so it's a lot more complicated than I would have ever thought that it was. So you mentioned
Yes.
testing. What is the process like to have things tested?
So after you finalize your recipe, so like it's really important to test your recipe and develop it in the production facility, either if it's your home kitchen or commercial kitchen. Have that all done and then you send it off to a lab and then they test it for guaranteed analysis. And that's a requirement to put on your labels. If you don't have that, then your state will reject your labels.
Interesting. So you
Yeah.
can't just say that it's lab tested by your Labrador. You need to actually send it to a lab.
Yes. Yeah, especially when you want to get to retailers because somebody from your state, from the Department of Agriculture, goes into these retailers, looks at your product, and makes sure you're in their database. And if you're not, they'll pull your products from the shelves.
And the store could get in trouble maybe too.
Exactly. So
Yeah, so
there's like a
that's
lot.
yeah, you really want to be careful. And so that would even apply like if you wanted to set up at a farmer's market or sell on your own website.
Yes. But then a lot of people don't take steps to do this. And so I wanted to create a course that people are doing it the right way because it would totally suck if you got to that, if you were able to bypass everything and then you were to get caught, you would have to redo your labels, your products would be pulled, like a whole lot of things would come to a halt and you would have to do all over again. And that's just more time and money you don't want to waste.
Yeah, well, and I think it's so important to do things the right way from the beginning, and sometimes you just don't know. Like I think sometimes people don't do things intentionally to be
Yeah.
sneaky. It's just you don't
Right.
know because how would you know? Like I would never know that.
Right.
People are like, "Oh, Tori, these I've been making all these gelatin treats." They're like, "Oh, you should sell these gelatin treats." And I go out and sell them. I would have no idea about all these regulations. So,
Yeah, and there's no information out there and people always ask me, "How come like there's no information?" I said, and it's all conflicting and I said it's because every state has their own process and procedures, so it's so confusing.
well, we've definitely seen in COVID that every state has their own laws and it makes the world very confusing.
Totally.
So, there's no doubt in anyone's mind about that now.
Yeah.
So, in addition to helping people start their own pet bakeries, you said that like one of your one of your like goals in that was you just want to get good quality nutritious treats and food out to more dogs, and so you're also doing that through your pet parent membership, where you have your dog food and dog treat recipe membership. So why did you decide to launch that for pet parents as well?
I've just been receiving a lot of DMs and messages from people asking me like, "Oh, can you do something for people that want to cook for their dogs or bake for their dogs, but not necessarily want to start a business?" And I said, "Okay, yeah, sure." And so I just decided to just do a test run. I just launched it, I think, in mid-March. And yeah, the response has been great. And I've been having so much fun doing it because I have like this big book of recipes that I've just like made for my dogs over the last like 13 years. And so it's been fun to go back and look, and it's more creative for me. So I've been having a lot of fun and just seeing people do the actual recipes and seeing their dogs enjoy it makes me so happy too.
That's one of the most fun things about a membership, is like that you get that like give and take, and you get to see photos and
Yeah.
videos, and you have this little community where people can share and bond over what they love, which is baking and cooking for their dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really fun.
And so you mentioned that you have a big book with all of your recipes and stuff that been working on. Do you think that you might ever create a cookbook and sell it?
Yeah, that's something I really would love to do maybe within the next year. I would love to do that. It's just, yeah, it's so fun. Like, I love it. I just love like the whole like creative part of it, like the photography and like just like, you know, putting together new recipes. I've been doing that as well. And I would love to make a cookbook. That would be like such a dream.
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
I love like making stuff for my dogs. It's just so fun. And lately, like I don't always bake stuff, but I've been trying to make things that like are just you can put in a silicone mold and freeze them.
Oh, yeah.
And those are so fun because they're just like you can kind of almost take anything that you have lying around,
Definitely.
freeze it,
Yeah.
and it's like a fun little treat. So I've been
Definitely.
doing a lot of that, but I have to check out your recipes to actually get into baking more.
Yes, I'll send you some.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, now, okay, enough about business. Let's talk about your dogs because you have a new addition in your life.
Yes.
So tell us about Bobby. We know kind of his beginning story, but you also have a new dog named Lucy, right?
Yes, yes, we're
So
twinning.
how are they getting along, and how did Lucy come into your life?
Oh, Bambi passed away past August from like an extremely rare heart condition. The surgeon was telling us like even like for her, we only see a case like this maybe once in our whole career.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was extremely rare. So when she passed, Bobby had like so much anxiety and like it like shattered his world and it broke my heart. And I was thinking, should we just get a new dog? I don't know. And then there were fires that were happening in California, and the shelter was contacted because there was a puppy mill that caught on fire. Yeah, and so the shelter rescued 100 dogs. And so
Wow.
it popped up on Pet Finder, and then so I put our name in, and luckily we were the first. And so we're like, "Can we get more?" They're like, "'Cause of COVID, you can only get one." And so 'cause we wanted to get like 3. And then so we brought her home, and so she was a puppy mill dog, and she didn't know how to walk, put on a leash. She's terrified of everything. So it's been 6 months, and she's just like transformed, and she found her legs. So now she loves to run. She's a total foodie now. Like she just loves to snuggle. She was afraid of men for a while. So she was afraid of my husband. So he's been working with her every day. So finally this past month, like they totally bonded. And so like her and Bobby they're like best friends now. So they cuddle with each other like every day. So it's really cute.
I love that. And do you know how old Lucy was when you got her?
They think she's 2.
Oh, okay. So she's still kind of got that puppy energy
Yeah.
to be zooming
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Our other dog was also a puppy mill survivor, but she was an older age, so it took her a year to trust us. But I think since she was younger, it was like the process was like faster, so she she trusts us now. So she's like loves her life now. So it makes me so happy to see.
That's amazing. Well, and maybe
Yeah.
Bobby like whispers things to her and tells her that you guys are good people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool because he taught her how to do things. He's all, it's not so bad here. He'll show her like, oh, just roll on your back. You'll get belly rubs. And now every time Bobby does it, she does it now too. So
That's really cute. I love it.
yeah. Yeah.
So final kind of question that I like to ask everyone is, do you have any tools and apps and resources that you can't live without? Like maybe the platform that your course is on or something like that. What are there 3 maybe that you can point out that you can't live without?
Yes, the course platform I use is Kartra. I love it. It's easy to use. I love it. I love everything is drag and drop. I tell everyone, I know it's like, it will take a lot of time, but learn Photoshop Illustrator. Like it saves me a lot of time. But then there's also other things like Canva that makes, it's so user friendly. So either or. The third one I want to say, the Lightroom app on your iPhone.
So is this how you're editing your photos for Instagram?
Yes, so like it's really cool because you can set your own presets. So if you're shooting in like your kitchen or a particular room that gets a certain light, I don't even use lighting. I just do everything on Lightroom. So you set a preset that works in that room, and then when you take your photo, it's just like a one-click thing. It saves so much time, and then you can export it to your desktop or your camera roll and just post that.
Yeah, I need to get into the Lightroom app because I don't know. I need to learn Lightroom, I think in general, like on the computer, because I have the Adobe Cloud.
Oh, yeah.
So I could use it, but I just never learned it, and I'm old. And so in school, we didn't really learn.
You're not old. I'm old. Like,
we had Photoshop because I went to school for digital arts, digital media, and so we did Photoshop. But like my first website, I like hand wrote the code for it.
that's awesome, Tori.
Because there was nothing existed to do like drag and drop.
That is so cool. I wish I knew how to code. Like,
No, you
that's
don't.
so cool.
It's a waste of knowledge because now everything is just like drag and drop. Just
Right.
what you see is what you get, which makes life a lot easier. But Lightroom, everyone keeps telling me to check out Lightroom, so I need to just get more familiar with it.
Oh yeah, I don't use the desktop version for Lightroom. I just do it on the mobile app, and there's like a slider. You just slide the exposure, contrast, and like once you get it, you set the preset and you take your photo and you just go click, and it just magically does it.
Well, that'll be my afternoon today, playing around with that.
Yeah.
So Minyoung, tell everyone where can they learn more about you, and is enrollment open for your course or your membership? Where can they learn more about all those things?
Sure. If anyone's interested, they can visit bobbyandbabby.com. All the links are on the website. The food and treat recipe membership is open all year round, open to everybody worldwide. You can be a dog bakery business owner, dog mom. It's for everybody. And the Dog Bakery Academy courses, I'm not sure if I'll be launching in the fall, but for sure January 22. I'm pregnant, so I don't know I don't know how that's all going to work out, but I'm hoping to launch again in September.
Okay,
But for sure January.
So check it out. Follow Minyoung. Check out Dog Bakery Academy. Find Bobby and Bambi, and just sign up for all the things, because whether you're a business or just a pet parent, you can teach us how to bake really nutritious, fun things.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh my God, Tori, thank you so much for having me. I feel so honored to be here. And thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
What did you like most about this episode? Find me on Instagram @TeamMystic and let me know what intrigued you or what questions you have about starting or growing your own dog-inspired business. You can also screenshot this episode and tag me in your stories. I love to see who is listening out there. Some of the best conversations happen after the episode, right? So track me down over on Instagram or join the Wear, Wag, Repeat Labs Facebook group to connect with other dog-obsessed entrepreneurs. And as always, you can find all the links and resources discussed in this episode at wearwagrepeat.com/podcast. See you back here next week.